Hey there Cosmic Warriors, and welcome back to my Ultimate Zodiac Showdown series. Okay, so in today's video we are going to be taking a look at the love and anger compatibility between Cancer versus Libra. Now I recommend you watch this video if you have your Sun, your Moon, your Mars, your Venus, and even your Mercury within either of these signs, because of course Mercury is all about communication, and communication is really important when it comes to relationships and compatibility. However, before we do get started, if you would like to know more information all about compatibility within astrology, as well as your Venus sign and house, along with your Libra house and your 7th house within your natal birth chart, then I have created a Libra season/archetype ebook. So what I'm going to do is I am going to provide a link to that ebook in the description box below so that you can pick up your copy today. Okay then, so with all those introductions out of the way, Cancer versus Libra. Let's do this. What is essentially happening here between these two signs is that they are making what's called a square aspect between one another within the zodiac wheel. And what square aspects can signify would be some tensions, conflicts, criticisms, and pressures. However, with that being said, I also want to address within this video things that they may like about each other, you know, how they can actually come together and create a harmonious relationship too. So let's begin by addressing attraction. What is it that attracts these two signs to one another? And I think that a Cancer may be really attracted to the Libra's charm. Libras, not only do they dress very well and they can be quite fashionable in that regard and really aesthetically pleasing, at the same time it's also their gestures, it's their body movements and their expressions that give this impression that they're going to receive whoever approaches them really well. And the thing about Cancers is that usually when they're trying to maybe make the move or initiate a conversation with someone that they like, they may have this fear of rejection. So they may step back a little bit, scope out the situation, feel, you know, put their feelers out there, because they're very feelings based, very emotionally based. But the thing about the Libra is that they give this impression that it's okay, I will try to understand you, I will listen to you, I will hear you out. And that is something I think that a Cancer really admires in the Libra, or at least over time they can really come to admire this, where even whenever they are in a relationship together, the Cancer can really learn a lot about the Libra's mind and about their opinions and their views on life and the world around them, and that can really also furthermore excite the Cancer too. But on the other side of this, I think that what a Libra might be attracted to in the Cancer is they might be attracted just to how the Cancer can come across as quite smooth. And also they may actually be attracted to how shy the Cancer may seem at the beginning. Now this is just at the beginning. the Libra may think that the Cancer is just this really introverted person who is maybe a little bit hard to figure out, who doesn't give too much away, and maybe the Libra is excited by all of the things that they don't know about the Cancer and that they're willing to learn about the Cancer, you know. If they find the Cancer to be, well, definitely if they find them to be aesthetically pleasing, you know, if the Libra looks at the Cancer and they think to themselves, yeah, I can see myself with this guy or gal, like they look really good, you know, so they have that spark to begin with. Well, from there, they may also go in with the intellect and then chat it up with the Cancer and ask them questions and be curious towards their likes and their dislikes and really see if there is a relatability in that way. You know, for a Libra, I feel that they have to have a commonality with their partner or a friendship, whatever that union is. So they have to be able to relate in some way with that person. And I also want to throw in a bit of context here because I think that this is pretty important, especially given the qualities of these signs. And what I mean by this is that whilst Cancer is more of a family orientated sign within astrology, Libra is more of that marriage partnership sign within astrology. Therefore, if they come together and maybe they connect really well and they feel that there is this good possibility that it can start to develop maybe for a longer term, and then it becomes committed and then time goes by, you may find that with these two they end up actually getting married, or they end up having a family together, because marriage and family of course can really go hand in hand. So you can find that with that attraction can come these types of things, but still, this is what I mean by given the context, because if a Libra is still in their their how do I put this lightly, they're just their flirty stage, you know, because Libras can also have this rap of being quite flirtatious people, and they may fool around a little bit, you know, they may weigh out their options and just scoop all of the talent, you know, they can be like that. So if they're in that stage, you know, maybe they're a bit younger, maybe they're under 25, or maybe they're in college and they just want to just do casual dating and whatnot, then them being with a Cancer person and the Cancer person being the person that maybe wants to commit, then of course that is not going to work out very well in the long term or for a committed relationship. But then likewise, if a Cancer is still in that stage of being, you know, they also get the rap of being mommy's boys or daddy's girls, or just depending on their family. You know, Cancers can have this tendency of running home to the family when things get tough, or just depending on the family to meet their needs and requirements. It all really depends on how that Cancer was raised, obviously. But if they're in that stage and then the Libra is in the stage of, no, I want to find a committed partner, I want to be with someone who I can see myself with, then again, there's not really going to be a good connection there either. Now, if we were to look at this relationship in terms of them being in a relationship for a little while and deciding, right, we're committed towards one another, well, what can then start to happen is that you can find that these two can really be very accommodating towards each other's needs. I really think that out of all of the different compatibilities, I think that Cancer and Libra can be very thoughtful and considerate towards each other, where they really do think about the other person and about what they need. So for example, right, there could be a situation where maybe the Cancer is having to do some overtime at work, and the Libra is most likely going to just be like, right, okay, I completely understand that, that's not your fault, and that is something that you have to do in order to provide for yourself and also to provide for us, you know, like if they are together, especially if they end up getting married. It's like, you're doing it for us. You know, Libras, because of that relationship orientated nature they can have, everything's like we, you know, it's it's very unified in that regard. So yeah, they're going to be understanding to the Cancer, but then at the same time, I do think that if the Cancer was to continuously do that, or if things were to start to build up and up and up, and it would become quite unbalanced, then the Libra may, of course, get a bit frustrated and a bit upset, but we will get to that point. But still looking at how they can be considerate towards one another, you know, if the Cancer explains this to Libra, well then the Cancer is going to remember that, you know. A Cancer will remember the nice things that you do for them. They are known for having pretty good memories. Okay, maybe not in terms of maybe not in terms of things that just fly over their head, you know, that really don't matter so much. But when it comes to people and places and memories that they have that really impacted them, you know, like their first time, or, you know, not just their first time having sex, but their first time doing a lot of things, or certain experiences they shared with family members or loved ones, they're going to remember that and really cherish those moments. So they will remember certain things that the Libra has done and then be able to almost repay the favor. They will really consider that the Libra understood that, and so they may show their consideration in return to the Libra. So for example, they might go and buy the Libra their favorite drink or coffee. You know, Cancers are really good at remembering what your favorite things are, especially if you're in a relationship with them and they care. This is so important. When a Cancer cares about you, they will make it very known. But this is where we get into the potential conflicts and complications that can come with this union as well, okay? So kind of going off the point that I made with the unbalancing for the Libra towards the Cancer, if a Cancer is becoming overwhelmed in any way by their emotions or by life in general, which Cancers have the tendency of taking on a lot of stimuli and not knowing how to shake that off sometimes, and when that happens they can become quite frantic, their moods can change and switch around. So if that happens and they don't really communicate that to the Libra to let them know, the Libra may see that as quite unfair to them. See, fairness for a Libra is really important. Meeting them halfway is really important. If this happens, then yes, there can be this wedge between them and it can be really hard in that way. But if they can both learn how to communicate, communicate how they're feeling about the situation, then maybe harmony can be restored. But at the same time, it is also important here, I think, for the Libra to learn how to not pretend that everything is fine, that everything is okay, when really it's not okay. And even still, Cancers, okay, water signs, emotionally based, they can suss out whenever someone has emotionally checked out or whenever they're not all there. So if a Libra is giving this impression that they're fine, but then they're also quite distant, then the Cancer may find it hard to reach the Libra. But at the same time, they can almost suspect that something is going on. Cancers are just the types of people who are not really fans of cool sort of responses from others. They gotta feel like they are still keeping that emotional bond and connection with them. And so if the Libra does not give that to the Cancer, then the Cancer may become a little bit upset. And even if we're to look at this from the opposite way of Libra towards Cancer, well, Libras do not appreciate being manipulated in any way, because there can be a tendency with Cancers to emotionally manipulate. Not saying that this is intentional from the Cancer, but it's something that they can do. And what I mean by this is that they can get into these pity parties, or they can sulk, or they can say certain things to make the other person feel like it was their fault, or like, you know, woe is me. And they can just revert into those more childish emotional tides, you know, and almost look to others as mothers or like caregivers to be like, there, Cancer. But if a Libra suspects that a Cancer is doing that, and the Libra thinks it's not fair, yeah, if the Cancer does that, then the Libra just might become a little bit frustrated and make sure that justice is served. Though still, let's actually address these two spending time together and what they might enjoy doing together. So I can see these two maybe spending a lot of time at home together, really cuddling on the sofa. They can both be really affectionate towards one another. I can also see them really cooking and preparing nice meals with one another, possibly even baking or just drinking a lot of tea and nice beverages together. I can see the Cancer bringing in lots of food from outside, and especially sugary stuff, because Libras can be known to have quite a sweet tooth. So yeah, the indulging in food and comfort and all of that may be things that they really enjoy with each other. But then also I think that, especially with Libra, you know, liking that balance in their life, if we're to look at this in terms of the outside, they may like to do a lot of different things, you know, so going to the movie theater, going even to different restaurants together, eating out may be something they really enjoy, but trying different places. But at the same time, you know, they may also have places that they go to that are their staple places. If they go to a place and the Libra falls in love with it, and the Cancer is just like, oh my gosh, the food, it tastes so good, you know, as a couple they could just keep going back again and back again to that particular restaurant. Also, socializing is going to be important here as well. So maybe for the Libra, if they have some friends in their life that they're pretty close to, or some relatives that they're pretty close to, they like to make sure that they schedule time for those people. Again, looking at balance in their life. But then also for Cancer, if they have a certain family base, of course, that they grew up in a loving family and they have formed bonds and connections with that family, then they're going to make sure that they make time for their family as well. But of course, what can be really beneficial about this is that the two of them can introduce each other to their social circles. And I think that both of their social circles together getting on well with each other may be quite important to both of these signs. Okay, so with the love and romance explained, let's now address the anger and disputes that may arise. So you want to kind of look for your Mars sign here more specifically. But with that, well, I think that if, for example, a Cancer is angry, then the Libra may have a tendency of trying to create harmony within that situation, okay? I mean, let's say, for example, that the Cancer is having a bit of a dispute with their friends. Maybe they're having a conflict over money issues or over disagreements, and the Libra then listens to the Cancer's frustrations. They notice, right, okay, the Cancer's really angry about this, about their friend. The Libra may try to be that peacemaker by asking, you know, about the situation, trying to figure out what happened. Also maybe trying to see it from the other person's perspective a little bit. Just being a bit inquisitive to not just the Cancer's emotion itself, but trying to help the Cancer move through that emotion by understanding why it happened, and how they can move past that thing happening. And that can be really good, of course. That can be really helpful from the Libra towards the Cancer. But if that Cancer is really feeling that emotion and they're really upset and they're really angry, the last thing they want to hear is, oh well, you did this, or oh well, I'm seeing the point from their point of view, or you know, maybe next time you can do that to help with it. That may make the Cancer even more annoyed, because that's maybe not the point of the Cancer being angry. It's just that the Cancer is angry and they're going through that emotion. So it may be good for a Libra just to let the Cancer go through it, and once that anger has boiled down a little bit, it's calmed down, sorry, then they can have that discussion, you know. Maybe all the Cancer is wanting from the Libra is like a nice massage on the back, or just a rub on the leg, or just a nice little, you know, hand through their hair, or just a hug, you know, just a hug, just like they're there. Or maybe just someone who says, what a, you know, asshole, like I can't believe they did that. You know, someone who gets riled up with the Cancer just as much can maybe make the Cancer feel like they're not alone in the situation, or like they have someone who gets it, you know. But then if a Libra is really angry, so let's say for example they have been working flat out all week and they've noticed that some of the employees that they're working with just are not pulling their weight, you know, a Libra is going to talk about it. They're going to bounce all of their anger onto that person who's listening. Not necessarily saying that they'll get as passionate or as riled up, like physically and emotionally, as an Aries would, but they are still going to use their words to express their just dissatisfaction about the situation. And so the Libra may kind of look to the Cancer and seek some sort of validation, you know, to say, well, do you agree with me? Are you getting this? Like, do you understand what I mean? Like, yeah, this happened earlier, and I can't believe that happened. I'm just so angry about it. And the Cancer, whilst yes, they may show their support towards the Libra, but if at any stage the Cancer then turns to the Libra and is just more affectionate, wanting to hug them, just bring them in and be like, oh, there, baby, it's okay, but yet the Libra has not finished ranting, they've not stopped talking about it, then the Libra may think that the Cancer is trying to maybe shut the Libra up, or like maybe the Cancer is just trying to avoid that conversation. But yet to the Libra it really matters in that moment, because whenever Libras really do get angry and frustrated and annoyed, not only are they annoyed at the situation itself, but they can also be annoyed at themselves too for even letting themselves get angry and annoyed in the first place, because they just want to keep peace and harmony all around them. So whenever that happens, it's just this double whammy of like, oh, I'm so pissed at that situation and those people, but I'm pissed that I'm getting pissed. Why am I letting this affect me so much? So if that situation was to arise, it would be a good idea for the Cancer just to simply listen to the Libra. Because the thing about this is that the Libra knows that the Cancer didn't have any involvement in it, and I think that the Cancer will understand that as well. They're not going to be as hurt, I think, by the Libra's anger in comparison to an Aries anger, because the Libra is very clear about who was involved and what happened, and I feel this way, I know that this wasn't your fault. Libra's very good at that and keeping the peace still with the partner, but in that way it's still good for the Cancer maybe just to let the Libra go through their emotional whirlwinds and just listen to them. Libra might even say some passive aggressive remarks towards the Cancer, which the Cancer may retaliate to, but then also the Cancer may sulk, they may be very moody, they may retreat a lot. The thing is that if they are both passive and things start to build up over time, then it can all come to a head, and then next thing you know, Cancer is unleashing all of their emotions onto the Libra. They are going through the Libra, just expressing everything that they picked up from the Libra within the past few weeks, within the past couple of months, that are really upsetting to them. But then also the Libra may then unleash through their words that can be really very hurtful to the Cancer's feelings. They can just unleash all of the things that they've also been building up over time. So they can just get into this really heated argument where it's literally just going through the last few weeks or the last few days or how much they've built up. And that can be a lot to unload, which is why it's good for them just to express their dissatisfaction or to communicate their their anger and frustrations towards each other in that moment or after the event has actually happened. Because if they don't do that, then that big blow up at the end that just unleashes it all, oh my gosh, that could be enough to cause a lot of just pure chaos and destruction, and they may even possibly get to a point where they're like, why are we even doing this? Why are we even doing this? If none of us didn't say anything for this amount of time, you didn't say it, and he didn't say it, and he said this, and she said that, and you know, it can just be really very chaotic in that way. So it's really important for these two signs just to learn how to address things as they come head on when they come. Okay then, Cosmic Warriors, so that concludes my video on the Cancer versus Libra love and anger compatibility. Now, if you do have any thoughts and opinions on today's video, then let us know in the comment section down below. But with all that being said then, thank you so much for watching, thank you for subscribing, and of course if you would like to see more videos from myself and you have not yet subscribed, then go right ahead and click that subscribe button, and I will be back with another video very, very soon. Bye!